advice do you have to homeowners?
Practicing that preparedness. Starting the conversation now is always going to be a benefit to any association out there.
And welcome to Recovery Report Live. I'm Dan Odess, president of GlobalPro, where we manage your risk to recovery. And we got a special episode today. I'm so excited to be here in Dallas, Texas, sitting next to Rob Bowlby, the president of GlobalPro Texas, to talk all about everything that we are doing here in Texas, penetrating this market, helping so much of the community. I can't wait to get started. I can't wait to start talking about it. But before we go there, I want to talk about a few things that are on my mind, share with you guys a little bit about GlobalPro, how it's growing, talk about our family of businesses and the things that we're going on. Our team is growing, our reach is growing. We are live in Dallas to talk all about its latest expansion. We are hiring, we have a lot of exciting things going on. We just hosted our very first events, and I want to get all into that, but I want to introduce Rob Bowlby, the president of GlobalPro, to talk about the market, to talk about all the things that we're trying to do here to help this great community and the greater Texas area with managing their risk to recovery. It's really important in this strategy with any business as you're growing to make sure that you have strong leadership. Without strong leadership, you certainly can lose your way. And I think we are absolutely doing that here at GlobalPro with the addition of Rob and everyone else that we are going to bringing on board. So let's get into it. Rob, thank you so much for joining us here today in our GlobalPro Texas office. I'm excited to be here.
I'm excited to be here too. That was one of the first steps, was to get a good location here in Dallas. And I'm super excited to be launching this brand in Texas. I've launched brands in a lot of markets. We'll talk about my background here in a little bit, where I first met Dan in Miami. But launching a brand like GlobalPro in Texas is just a lot of fun, and it's been a really good week having the guys here.
So where are we located here, actually, Rob? Talk about the office. Why did we pick this location?
So we picked this location. It's a good spot. We are in the 6060 building at the Crossings. We're near the SMU campus. We're across the street from Highland Park. A lot of our clients are higher-end residential homeowners. It's a great market for us. We're also not far from the vibrant uptown and downtown markets of Dallas. It's one of the fastest-growing cities in the country right now.
So let's talk about Texas, right? Let's take a step back. We know where we are. There's a lot of thought that went into this, right? Like, I'm not unfamiliar with the Texas market, particularly when it comes to insurance and recovery. For more than 10 years and doing this and helping policyholders. I've had many losses. I've helped with the placement of numerous large insurance programs and policies for particularly multifamily property, which is definitely growing and abounds. And we thankfully had an opportunity to meet with some great folks here that are actually in that business. But why Dallas?
Why Dallas? So Dallas is one of the fastest growing markets in Texas. Let me go back to why Texas first, because Texas for the last 10 years has been the fastest growing state in the nation, not only via population. I think we've added just under 3.5 million people in the last 2 years, but also the fastest growth rate. Dallas itself, the residential market is up about 27% year over year. And we have more commercial construction than any other market in the United States right now, except New York. We've got about $21 billion in combined commercial and residential construction going on in this market right now. Those are statistical numbers, but you've been here this week. You can feel it. You can look at the Dallas Business Journal. You can see the number of companies that are either already located here, are considering locating here, or any major corporate relocation in the last 12 months. Dallas has been in the top 3 sites for their corporate headquarters.
Yeah, I mean, headquartered out of Miami, South Florida market. I mean, we see the vibe, we feel the energy. It was no different. I mean, you hit the ground here, you see the billboards, you're driving down the highway, you're seeing all the company names and the signs, and many of which you're reading about just got into the market. Next thing you know, they had huge marquee buildings. So there's definitely a lot of action going on here. You see the development projects, you see the cranes as you're coming from the airport, Dallas-Fort Worth. I took so many pictures of it. You can see the growth. You can definitely feel the energy. We had an awesome time meeting with some of your colleagues, some of those that support you, friends, and professionals that have through your career. So let's talk about your career just a little bit. How did you get your start? What is it like to make that transition, take that leap of faith with me particularly, considering our background. Definitely very appreciative of that. Made me feel good for a little, for quite some time now, and excited to finally get here, feel the energy of what's going on. But talk about your friends, your colleagues, professionals. What have they meant to you in making this transition and their support?
Sure. So just a little bit of background. I've had a 29-year career in commercial banking, and during that career, I've launched my former bank's brand in many markets, including Miami, which is where I first met Dan. And I think one of the reasons that Dan and I got so close so quick was we just shared a really common set of core values. The bank I was working for instilled those core values in my business personality of just, we want to help people. We want to be consultants, and we want to help the community. It's not about selling product. It's not about making money. It's about helping our clients. And Dan and I connected on that very quickly, even to the point where I added him to our local bank board down there in Miami, Florida. And so the more we spent time together, the more we kind of just toyed with the idea, could we ever launch a venture together? And then when I moved to Texas in 2016, Dan said, this could be the time. And I said, I'm not quite ready yet. And
just reeling you in, man.
Yeah,
just reeling you in.
Yeah. I like playing hard to get.
Exactly. And I love the challenge.
And then obviously in Texas this year, the big news story from a weather standpoint was the Texas freeze. And like the good friend he was, Dan called to check on myself and my family and make sure we were doing okay, and said, still thinking about us launching into Texas together. And at that point, I really started thinking seriously about it, and it would be fun to launch another brand in this market. My wife and I love Texas. We love our church here. We love our country club here. We love the schools our kids go to. Dan got exposed to all of that this week. We met a lot of those people as we were out meeting some of my network within the community. And Texas is just a really special place. Once you get here, it's hard to leave.
No, that's for sure. I think one of your colleagues that we met with to network and get to know and understand his business, he said it to me, and I feel as if I'm doing it to myself or you're doing it to me, which is drinking from a fire hose. Certainly with all the relationships and information that we have coming at us, but thank God we have an incredible team behind us at GlobalPro that's really helping us make this happen. The marketing team, to the attorneys, to the administrative team, helping us make a smooth transition, help us penetrate the market, obviously with the events that we're doing. And we kicked it off with an awesome client experience. Last night we were at a local wine shop in your neighborhood,
yes.
And meeting with many folks with diverse background. Let's talk about those individuals and what they're going to mean to our growth.
Sure. So we've had not only the event last night, but just this week, I think we've met with almost 24 companies over the last 3 days. So it's been a bit of a road show. And and having done this in other markets, I'm sure this is really fun for you to take a brand that is incredibly well known in South Florida, but now it's a restart, and you get some of the same questions that you probably haven't heard for 5 or 6 years that you're now getting to start over with in North Texas. And so this week we met. Obviously, we met with CAI. GlobalPro has a tremendous relationship with CAI South Florida. The good news is the DFW chapter of CAI is an incredibly active chapter, not quite as big as South Florida, but still about 400 to 600 property managers and related companies in the CAI chapter here. So of course that was one of the first meetings we took. We also met with several multifamily property owners and operators, several people in the senior living space, private schools, agriculture and manufacturing, and even started in the process of starting a relationship with the local association council. But I'm sure it was interesting for you, or at least it was for me, to hear some of those same things. Some people get what we do right away.
Yes.
They're really open to it. Some people ask the question, who's your competitors? And you and I both know that's a hard question to answer because nobody really does what we do the way we do it.
No.
And so that was fun to explain. And then we had those people that don't really understand what we do and make some negative assumptions, and we worked through those as well yesterday.
Yes. Or they feel like they have it figured out. We definitely we ran into some of that where they thought they understood insurance, or their broker or agent were it, right? They were the insurance coverage expert for them. When they're experiencing losses, when they're having any sort of issues or renewing the policies. And you hit on so many great points there to really break it down. Meeting with the local association council and having an opportunity to talk with someone about what's impacting it, having represented thousands of community associations and hundreds of millions of dollars in recovery from construction-related losses to pipe breaks to fires and everything else. It was interesting to hear, another person's take on market opportunity, potential growth areas, issues that are plaguing the insurance industry as it relates to community associations, how they're trying to sort of deal with that, some of the confusing legislative issues between vertical versus horizontal type structures. It was an incredible conversation. Certainly one that was mixed in there with, the hardball questions about how are we different than the agent or broker, or who the competitor is. And I mean, the reality of it is that even when we look at some of the industries that we service and provide, right, and the types of services that we do provide and the competitors in each of those verticals, it's tough to find someone local in each of those different services in Dallas, even though it's such a huge market and there's so much potential growth opportunity here. It was incredible to me that every time we asked someone, who do you believe to be our competitor, when we were kind of turn the question around back on them, they're pointing to someone at a Houston, San Antonio, Oklahoma, Louisiana. There was seldom, if ever, actually, I'm sitting here trying to think of it as I'm talking, I can't think of one time where someone picks someone local, truly in Dallas, headquartered here like we are, and that is doing what we're doing. I mean, I don't know that I've ever been in a market, and we have entered into several. We, as many know, we have offices in New York, New Jersey, Orlando, Miami, obviously headquartered. And I mean, we came here. What's the local flavor? That's GlobalPro, and I really feel like we can actually make that a thing. I mean, that's certainly going to be the center of a lot of what we're doing. It had to make you feel good, though.
It does. Well, and that's always been the secret sauce of GlobalPro, is having experts in-house in each of those markets, not going outside the market. And I think one of the reasons that so much of this is headquartered in Houston is when you think of companies like ours, you think of hurricanes a lot.
Yep.
And so obviously South Florida, big hurricane market. And so down in Texas, we do get named storms every 2 years or so. Obviously Harvey was a big name here in Texas. But that all happens down in Houston and the Gulf Coast. But what a lot of people don't think about is also throughout Texas, including particularly in North Texas, we have 150 tornadoes a year. We have 500 hailstorms a year. Obviously, the Texas freeze, over $160 billion in damage from that alone. So there are weather events where people need help. I mean, people need help navigating their policies. People need help getting ready. People need help rebuilding. People need help recovering. That's what we do.
And one of the things we were talking a lot about it, people wanted to know almost early on was, when do we call you?
Yeah.
And to hit on this, you to really, make a point here, you talked about it, like they think hurricane. Well, they're thinking hurricane because they're thinking about the adjusting services we provide. And then we kind of had to walk them back and say, no, we're about managing risk to recovery. It just wasn't some fun little slogan we came up with that we trademarked. It really has true meaning. We have a process: ready, recover, rebuild. We want to be there when you're placing insurance and recovering from loss and rebuilding. And then when that cycle continues and evolves, particularly for a lot of commercial property owner, operator, community associations, they're in that renewal cycle. There's never a time where they don't have insurance. They're constantly dealing with it. So throughout the process, which is a cycle, there's things that you can do to impact. And we had to walk a lot of these colleagues and associates and professionals through that process and educate them about how us as insurance servicers can help them in each of those phases. And yes, their agent and broker know something about insurance, but they know how to transact and sell the product. They're not adjusting the claim. They're not considering the implications of what you're rebuilding and how those things may impact that renewal process. And a lot of times they're trying to take care of certain appointments that they had and explaining the market conditions and what may lead to them favoring one over another, and it may not be in your best interest. We don't care about those things, right? Our fees and the way in which we transact is set up to advantage our clients to make sure that you're getting the best product for the best price, and then it may not always be the cheapest, but we want to make sure that you understand the risk that you may be underwriting yourself or self-insuring, and what that can and how that can impact you here locally in this market, right? And that's the unfortunate part about someone that may be in Houston or Oklahoma. They're not looking at local market conditions. They don't have their finger and pulse on what's actually going on in the business community, what's going on in the various different aspects of finances or whatever else. And with your strong financial background and those experiences, that local flavor matters.
Oh, it does. It does. Well, especially because that's insurance is generally the largest line item on the income statement. Yeah. Behind payroll for a lot of companies. And so if we can help with that, and to your point on, that a lot of times people just do it because they get what's cheapest or they get what saves them the most time. That never pays off on the back end. And I'm sure you've experienced in South Florida that a lot of people that are using us on the consulting side first experienced us on the recovery side, and that was the eye opener of, okay, I don't have what I think I have.
Yeah, no, it's having been in Texas over the years and dealing with large multifamily commercial type losses, and you've gotten to understand kind of how the market is different. It's very unique, even in all of its similarities to Florida. It's still unique, and within Texas, there's the different markets, and each of them are treated differently. You have a different set of professionals. Your reaction time is certainly something that needs to be measured or part of consideration by our clients, and we're going to be there 24/7, 365, like we have for nearly a decade. I can't wait to celebrate that, and this is all part of that countdown. Is continuing to grow. There's that strong growth in our going on our 10th year. We are continuing to grow. We're continuing to expand. We're so excited to have Rob with us. And we're hiring, right? We're growing our team. We're part of the solution to a growing problem with regards to finding highly qualified, growth-orientated companies that need talent. Yeah. So, Rob, who are we looking for? What are we trying to add? Where are we going with that?
So who are we looking for on the expansion side? Yeah. So we need field adjusters. We're looking to hire 1 to 2 field adjusters. We're looking to hire in-house counsel, even all the way down to just administrative assistant positions. But we think we're going to grow the market really fast, and we just need a team to support that market.
So if you're interested, hit the links, whether you're on your YouTube channel, go over to our website, look in the career section. If you're on social media, go ahead and click through there. And so if you're on Instagram, click on the bio, you'll get a GP links menu. You'll find it right there, the careers. Lots of opportunity there. We have strong growth. We have the resources, and we want to teach people. We want to help. We not only teach our own staff and improve the quality of the service we're providing, but we want to help our community and continue doing those things. A big part of GlobalPro and its culture, something I've talked a lot about in the recovery report, is how we want to give back, how we want to continue to support our community. We have a foundation, GlobalPro Cares Foundation. We're going to be doing a ton of things here in Dallas to help the local economy, to help the community rebound from any sort of disaster, or deal with social and issues that may be plaguing the city, and get involved and become part of the solution, be a pillar within the community. It's always been important to me, whether it's board positions to giving back, and whether it's money, time, or other resources. We're going to make that impact. We're going to continue doing it. We're so excited to be here. There's the industry landscape in Dallas, Texas, and Texas as a whole is ripe with opportunity, ripe with challenges. Obviously, we can't wait to see and feel some of. We've already experienced a little bit here in the first few days on this roadshow, which has been challenging in itself. Plenty of food and drink and wine and great conversation and meeting after meeting. But we hit the ground running, and we have the energy. We are aggressive, but it's been around the clock. We're in the end of the week here. I can't wait to get you back to the headquarters and to continue to strategize and plan for 2022 and beyond. But we have a few months left here, and 2021. I'm excited.
Oh, I'm super excited.
I'm excited.
And I'd like to say a big thank you to all the people that we did see this week, if any of you are watching. And it's one of the things I love about Dallas in particular. You've got markets like New York and LA and even Miami. There's reasons to be there. You want to live at the beach, you want to be part of the energy in New York City, or you want to be near Hollywood. People come to Dallas to work. There's not really a reason to come to Dallas other than it is such a tremendous business environment. And you saw it as we sat in meetings. People said, hey, here's 4 people that you need to meet with right away.
Yep.
And here, I'm going to text you their contact information.
Yeah. Like literally right in front of us. Emails.
And
we were, it's incredible to see how warm and inviting everyone was for me personally.
Yeah.
But also the concept, the idea, the business strategy, how quick they were to say, man, we need this. It's not even a want. It's we need this in the market. I can't think of anyone that's actually doing what you're doing. And the funny thing is, in most of those conversations, we didn't even get into the real estate and the technology verticals and everything else. We were really focused on the insurance services. So I can't wait to have you back every week. We're going to be doing this for the next I'd say about 6 weeks or so. We're gonna have Rob on, recovery report and I'll be broadcasting, so we might be a little at a distance, but we'll figure it out. We'll do a couple minutes every single week, giving market updates about what's going on in Dallas, Texas, about what GlobalPro is doing, exciting things going on in the community. So make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you're following us on all the social media. Like us, whatever it takes. They keep putting out, more and more social media platforms, so you never even know what to say anymore. But check us out. Go to the website, on all the website, all the other social media. We redirect you to all the other platforms that we're on. We're making sure the content's out there. When we want to put out information you can actually use, that's what this is all about. Every Thursday at 11 o'clock, we are live on the recovery report. So go ahead and do that. And I mentioned it once before. I'm going to mention it again. I gotta support our marketing and the business development department. You gotta call us first, right? What does that mean? Anything related to insurance, you call us first, whether you're getting a new insurance policy, you're acquiring a new asset, your association's board is transitioning, and you want information that you can actually use as it relates to insurance, real estate, or business strategy, how to save money, how to get a better product, how to use the product, whatever it may be, call us first. We want to be there throughout the entire process. And the process, as we just spoke about, is a cycle. There's no real definitive end or beginning to it, right? Once you have that first insurance policy, whether it's required by your lien holder, whatever it may be, you're in that cycle, and you're in that cycle probably forever, right? If you're doing business. Even if you retire, you're still in the cycle. You still have insurance. You're still renewing. You're still dealing with these issues every single day. So make sure you tune in every Thursday at 11 o'clock on the Recovery Report Live. Rob is going to be joining me for the next few weeks. We're going to have additional segments thereafter where we're going to hyper focus on the Texas market, the things that are going on as legislation change, whatever is going on. But even better, next week we have an amazing webinar series, right? Where we're going to start talking about a 40, 50-year recertification. It's one part of a multi-part segment where we're talking about the changes that are going on. I was just on an actual board call about condominium associations and changes that are being proposed in Florida, many of which are going to get adopted nationally in other markets that have a lot of community associations like Dallas. I would absolutely expect that to happen, whether statewide or in different local markets, Houston, Dallas. We're going to be talking all about that. We have industry experts on there that are going to be joining me talking about it. Opportunity for you to ask questions and get answers to those questions live with my other panelists. So we're going to continue doing things as well as the Recovery Report Live. So hey, Rob, any closing remarks, words?
No, I will just say when we started this, Dan bought the team here some Texas Edition Brooks running shoes. They got put to good use this week.
Not only that, but I'm gonna do this right here at the end of the segment.
No.
I'm gonna show there's a GlobalPro Sock Edition, and then we got the Texas one on the other foot. Yes, we did put it to good use. Actually, I'll be honest with you, and I know we're closing out the show here, but I have to say, Rob and I, we ran through SMU campus and through some of the commercial areas. Bit of a longer run than I actually anticipated. Maybe I should have spent
That's how you learn a city, man.
Exactly, man. I maybe I spent a little time more stretching, but it was awesome to be on your feet in the community, seeing the energy, and looking at the growth with you, literally boots on the ground. Walking in our GlobalPro Texas first edition sneakers. And many that know the culture within our business we're a lot of sneakerheads at our headquarters in Miami, and we will be creating a sneaker wall here in the Texas office. It is a prominent thing. In fact, we have an entire charity initiative around shoes and fresh kicks and cuts. So learn more about that. Hit those links and check it out. But hey, Rob, awesome. Can't wait. I mean, more to come, right?
Exactly. You were right.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. So, guys, thanks so much for tuning in this week on the Recovery Report Live. It's been an awesome, exciting segment. Ton of energy, as you can tell, regardless of all the meetings and all the time we spent on the road. I can't. I'm looking forward to it. I think there's awesome growth opportunity here, and looking forward to getting more involved in the community. So, if there's anything we can do, reach out to us. Let us know what we can do. But again, hit the subscribe button, like us, and follow us on all the social media. I mean, we're a click away, we're a phone call away, 24/7. We want to be that resource for insurance. We are coverage experts, and we'll see you next week on the Recovery Report Live.